Hey everyone, Sweet Johnny Cage here. Welcome to my first guide for Darksiders 3 on Apocalyptic difficulty. In this section we're going to be exploring Haven in the first section of the game up until the Maker's Forge. Along the way we're going to get some loot as displayed here. It's 1 Fortifier Enhancement, 1 Grand Lurcher Crystal, 1 Healing Shard, 3 Large Lurcher Clumps, 3 Medium Lurcher Clumps, 3 Small Lurcher Clumps, 1 Strength Shard, 1 Talisman of Sin, and 1 Wrath Shard. The way these guides are going to work, I'm basically just going to do some commentary over some gameplay. It's going to be fairly relaxed. I am going to cut out deaths as well as much loading time as humanly possible. But yeah, let's start. So I have completed this game on challenging difficulty, so I am very familiar with the layout of this world, the location of basically all the treasures, and where to get them. So yeah, like I said, let's do a bit of a casual playthrough, some commentary over some gameplay. We'll have a nice time, we'll relax, I'll skip all the cutscenes. Yeah, maybe I won't cut out the loading times at this one, only because there's really not much, and I kind of have a lot to say about this game. So starting off, we're just going to skip all the cutscenes. I've seen them all before, and I'm not here to waste your time, or at least waste too much of your time, I guess I should say. But the intro of this game is pretty straightforward, and I am playing this on patch 1.04, and there was a reduction in difficulty. It wasn't exactly timed. It came out the day I started. It took me about a week to get through 100% of the game on challenging difficulty. I figured I would start on challenging just to get familiar enough and then move on to apocalyptic. Challenging 100% took me about 35-36 hours, but that was while getting all the trophies. And if you're looking for any trophy guides, I'll plug my own channel here. You can check out the rest of my channel. I do have trophy guides for the whole game, and I'll continue to put those up as I'm able to edit them. I just kind of wanted to start on this apocalyptic guide before I finish those. The most recent trophy I got was the Havoc mode grinding, where you need 666 kills. That is, of course, before I defeated the final sin. But yeah, so grinding those up is kind of annoying. It actually took a little bit shorter than I thought. I recorded that guide before I actually got it. So I kind of got frustrated just grinding the kills, and there's no counter in the game, so you never know how much you have, at least that I could find. So I got a little impatient and said, you know what, I want to get this guide out before interest around this game dies. So I just sort of did it and showed my grinding path, and then I got it like 45 minutes later. So I should have just waited, so I could have had footage of the trophy popping. But in any event, we're making our way through here. There's some really simple enemies. Don't forget to pick up the Wrath Shard in that trash bin right underneath the pole that you're going to swing on. And then we're going to fight Envy. Envy is really, really easy. It's really easy to dodge all of her attacks, although I think I do use one Nephilim's Respite in this fight. But she swings her staff around. You can just dodge it to the right. I don't recommend doing forward dodges on this boss because she can knock you out of the air while you're trying to combo. And, you know, this is apocalyptic, so she deals a decent amount of damage. Once you knock her down, I guess maybe like a quarter of her life or so, maybe a fifth, she will go up in the air and start doing a charge attack. And then you just gotta do some platforming and some swinging. And then once you get to the end of this section, you're just gonna jump up in the air, target her, and then hit her 3 times. Okay, so on another attempt, I missed. But all you need to do actually is hit her with the attack as you're going down. So that final attack after you hit square, 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 or XXX, or whatever it is on PC. So the third one is the important part, because that's going to drag her down to the floor. Just a heads up, though. So what I found while recording this was that the game, if you die before you find Vulgrim for the first time, you will get transported back to the very beginning of the game, which normally is not a problem. But it is a problem in this case because I'll show you exactly where it happens, but you kind of hit a point where you can't progress anymore because a piece of the environment is missing. So you literally have to start the game all over. Like, you have to just overwrite your file. But in any event, we're going to drag Envy down to the floor one more time. And then we're going to deal the last few hits. She does have this attack where she stomps the ground, a big wave comes out. You just jump over it, it's no big deal. She does that 3 times in phase 3, twice in phase 2, and then she becomes attackable again. But really, really easy fight, nothing too crazy. And she's dead. So if this is your first playthrough, you'll get a trophy for this. We'll skip all the cutscenes. Now you'll notice here throughout my gameplay, I kind of pause every time I pick up an item. And the reason for that is because I write it down. I don't really want to watch this footage like 3 or 4 times just to kind of catalog all the loot that I pick up, so I just do it as I go. So there we got a small healing shard. There's really nothing hidden in this first section, at least until a few screens ahead. There's a building that's easy to miss, or a room in a building that's really easy to miss. We're just making our way up here. This is where the enemies start to kind of pile on you, and you know, they, sorry, actually not even here. Next section, I thought, forgot where I was. So this is one of the things that I wish you could skip in the game is these sort of like mini conversations or full conversations that you have. The mini conversations don't impact your gameplay at all. It's usually just Fury talking to herself, or maybe the watcher's voice sort of comes out, but this like walk and talk thing, it slows down your game dramatically. And especially if you like know where you need to go next, you'll literally be standing there just like waiting to progress for this conversation to end. So that's what winds up happening here, but it's kind of annoying. Sorry I can't skip this, but I guess I could edit it out. Maybe I'll do that in the future ones, but I kind of want to show like the full route that I take through this game. Yeah, so this is actually where I was talking about. If you die after this section before you fight Vulgrim, you cannot proceed, because the pipe that this crane is holding, the crane crashes into the pit after you swing over. So it's sort of like, hey, here's this intro area. Now you can swing over and go to the rest of the game. That said, I'm not sure why Vulgrim doesn't just pop out of this pad first. Like, it makes you progress a little bit further in the game, even though Vulgrim should just appear here. This is the first pad he has. I don't get it. I sincerely don't understand, especially because, like, as a brand new player, you know, somebody who's playing on Apocalyptic for the first time, especially unpatched, you know, when the enemies were doing a lot more damage, at least I think their damage was nerfed, you know, there's a decent chance you could die here, you know what I mean? Especially before the next Vulgrim. There's a lot to get through. But anyway, we're going to go behind this bus, pick up some enemies. As you can see, they deal a ton of damage, especially, you know, in the early levels. We have a treasure here, and it's a small lurcher clump. So we'll start picking up treasures in somewhat quick succession in this section. There are a lot of treasures here. But again, nothing too hidden. You know, we just got these guys to deal with. This is actually where I farm for the Havoc mode achievement. For Beast mode is the achievement or trophy. This is where I farm, and you know, you just basically build up your Havoc meter to full, warp over here, and then you just grab all these enemies at the same time and just go to the top of the parking garage and just wait for them to follow you up there, pop Havoc mode, kill them all, and then reset it, and then go die and farm it up again. Over and over and over. If cards are still a thing on YouTube, I'll put a card here to link you to that video in case you're looking to grind that up. I do have a guide for that already. Yeah, so we're going to get this treasure here, which is a healing shard. These are healing items, and all the shards work the same way, where you can use it, but then all of your shards are on cooldown. So if you use a healing shard, you can't use a Havoc shard or a Wrath shard. You have to use the shard and just sort of sit there for like, not sit there, but like you can't use another shard for like 10 or 15 seconds. So you pick up a medium lurcher clump there at the top of the parking garage. But after you use a shard, you can use a Nephilim's Respite, but I use the shards after my Nephilim's Respite is gone. So we're going to swing across these two pipes, and then this is the section where enemies actually start to really pile on you. You have some enemies that don't move out of your way, so those smaller skeleton dudes that I killed throughout that first section, those are the guys that will move out of your way as you run towards them. They'll still attack you, but you know, you can sort of just run into them and they'll kind of sidestep you, so they're a nice intro enemy. But these guys here, the ones with the bats, and the guy in the distance there, he has some blades that he throws. These guys do not ignore you. They will just keep coming at you until you kill them. So just keep that in mind, that it's really only the lesser enemies that die in a couple hits that will run away from you. But what you want to try to do is kite out that big dude who had the daggers or whatever he throws at you, only because it can get a little crazy with these lesser skeleton dudes and the guys with the bats. Up on that ledge is a treasure, or a path that leads to a couple treasures, but you need the Force Hollow in order to get it, so we'll come back for that much later. And in here we have a few of these bigger enemies with bats. One of them has the daggers that he throws, or the sickles. I don't know what you call those things. So yeah, he has those, and you just deal with that. This area does get a little crazy because of all the cars, and the camera in this game isn't that great. And you're just negotiating with the environment a lot in this game. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to pick up this treasure here, which is a medium lurcher clump, and then I'm going to ignore this big dude. I'm not going to fight him. It's not really worth it at this point, but I do want to pick up the fortifier enhancement that he's guarding, and then I'm going to be a wimp, and I'm just going to run away. It's not worth fighting him. He doesn't really give you much. Souls are really easy to come by in this game, so just ignore him and get the enhancement. And the fortifier enhancement is the first thing you get. I should have equipped it here. It gives you a bit of a damage bonus, and I think a life bonus. I just forgot to equip it. For some reason, I have it in my head that you have to do that at Vulgrim locations or at the Maker's Forge. I know that's not true. This is the first hidden thing here, is this apartment, or building. I don't know. It's a wrecked building. But in here, I think is a, strength shard. So this is the first strength shard. I've never really used these things. I've used plenty of healing shards and a couple of havoc shards when I was farming. But as you can see here, I stopped to type in what I got, just so I could keep track. But a strength shard will temporarily boost your strength. So this section here, there is a treasure down the alleyway in the back there that you just saw a couple skeletons come out of. I don't die here, but I do fall off this ledge. Yeah, see, the environment just gets a little tricky sometimes. You gotta watch out for that, but we'll heal up and we'll go back. It's no big deal. I think this guy's like 1 hit left. Yeah, 3 hits, okay. So, around this corner, there's another treasure. I think it's a small lurcher clump. Large lurcher clump. There you go. There's another one. So we're going to make our way into these buildings. We're almost to our first Vulgrim location. We'll just keep going. And I will say, this first section is really easy, so I guess I should take this opportunity to ask you guys, what you think of this style of a guide. This game isn't necessarily super hard, and the treasures don't really become hidden until much, much later. But with that said, I do want to kind of format these guides to where you never really have to guess how I got somewhere, and I also don't want people to click into the guides and not know what I get in it. A lot of Let's Plays I find are like that, and you're sort of just scrubbing around the video and guessing. And, if there's a room you don't know how to get into, you're just sort of like guessing for how to get into it. So I'm going to try to format these guides to be a bit better and, just sort of explain what I'm doing. But this first section is just so easy that there's really not much to explain. But this is our first Vulgrim location, so if we die now, we'll respawn here and not at the beginning of the game and get stuck. So we'll just keep proceeding up the wrecked building. It's just a bit of a platforming intro, I should say. We need to swing along this branch, and then the enemies here actually do sort of gang up on you, so you gotta be very, very methodical in how you kill. I don't recommend just trying to like bum rush them or anything, because they deal a lot of damage with these glass spikes. It's bad news, man. Like these guys can really mess you up. I do take a death around here, although I edited it out. You should be able to find out where it is. I don't think I did that great of a job trying to hide it. I didn't do a whole lot of editing on this. But anyway, we're going to keep proceeding. For this section here, we will come back to this much later when we have the Flame Hollow. But we'll pick up the small lurcher clump for now. But yeah, we will need to come back here. And believe it or not, that section right there that I just passed with the spider web, that's actually where I found the final demon artifact or demonic artifact in my last playthrough that I needed to upgrade my 5th enhancement for that trophy. So these beginning sections are really, really easy to miss. They're just easy to forget about when you need to come back and get some upgrade materials and stuff. So be sure to come back here if you're in need of materials. But this is where I took the death. I actually think the editing there wasn't too bad. I didn't even notice. Unless Premiere just isn't like showing the animations or something. But yeah, just take those guys out. There's a guy behind this barricade here, and he's guarding a treasure, which should be a medium lurcher clump. Yep. So yeah, I'm writing it down there again. That's why I pause. But we're almost done with this section of the guide. It's not too bad. It's like a 20-minute little intro area before you get to the Maker's Forge. Teaches you about the platforming of the game. Gives you some basic enemy types to deal with. Gives you some treasures to pick up. Yeah, nothing too difficult. This is a section that we will return to when we have both the Flame Hollow as well as the Storm Hollow, or I think it's the Storm Hollow, which allows us to glide. That's sort of the double jump function of the Storm Hollow is gliding. So we will need that to come back here to get into the building that I'm facing right now. There's a lot of treasures in there. I think there's an enhancement in there, and we will definitely come back for that. These are going to be like 100% guides. I'm still trying to figure out how I want to format those, like the ones where I go and backtrack for more treasures, because there are a couple sections where like you need multiple hollows in order to get everything. So I kind of have to figure out how I want to do that, but we'll worry about that, going forward. Yeah, I don't know why the prompt for the whip chain did not come up there, so make sure to double jump over here and it should come up. I really don't understand why it didn't come up there. This game is very strange sometimes. I love this game. If I didn't love this game, I wouldn't be doing like this in-depth of a guide, or guide series, I should say, but I really do like this game a lot. And here we are at the Maker's Forge, and that's going to be the end of part 1 of this guide. I am replaying this game on Apocalyptic difficulty, so these guides won't come out like ultra fast or anything. Like I just did this just now. I just played through this intro, and I wanted to make the guide for it. So we'll end it here, and I'll play it again and make the next guide, hopefully within the next few days. All right, guys, let me know what you thought of this style of guide. I had a lot of fun making it, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you're looking for any additional help or for trophies for Darksiders 3, please subscribe to the channel so you see when they go live, and check out the playlist on your screen right now. All right, guys, I was with Johnny Cage. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.